I always been a fan of the Boondocks, ever since I first saw it back in 2016. I love it. I love the characters, I love the comedy, the plots. The first 3 seasons are amazing, and if you haven't checked them out, do it, please. With that being said, we can all agree season 4 was kind of a show, right? But now, before I get into why season 4 sucked, let's go over some background. So Aaron McGruder was the showrunner for the first season until he left during season 3. There was a lot of rumors with why, but the official statement from him is that he wanted to move past it as a creator. Now, a creator leaving a show is never a good sign. We had hope for the Boondocks until season 4 happened. So the season-wide plot is Granddad being in debt to one of the Oncelers, and basically get out of debt by being a part of an attraction called Freedom Land, which they escape, in which Onceler stops going after them. Like, they still owe him money, but they escaped, so why not, like, your dad owns their house, why not do something? Yeah, and the season-wide plot just kind of ends there. Nothing really happens for the rest of the season. He doesn't do anything, he doesn't try to come back, nope. That isn't even the first episode. The first episode is about Tom and his marriage issues, which, I swear, this happened in the previous season with the Usher episode, which gets resolved at the end of the episode. So there's nothing of real entertainment value here. Speaking of that, now the humor is just, well,
I'ma get a spin-off show called Black Assistant Bitches Who Kill Their Bosses. Believe that.
it's not as good as it used to be.
Granddad, you can't tame the white supremacist power structure with cheese!
Oh, yes, I can!
No, you can't!
Yes.
It just seems focused more on one-liners, and while yes, the show did have one-liners, they're usually few and far between, and when they did do it, it was funny. But since they keep focusing on one-liners, it becomes less funny the more times you do it. It just doesn't feel the same. I guess watered down is a good enough explanation of it, but there's not much I can really go into depth since it just feels a bit watered down. That's the best way I can describe it. There's another Stink Meter episode which is just and there's also a episode that's parodies Breaking Bad, but instead it's being hairsprayed that's explosive. Then it recreates the scene of the RV and you basically know what happens from there. Episode where Granddad dates a Kardashian, yeah, that's actually an episode. None of these really sound like Boondocks episodes, to be honest. Like, maybe in the previous seasons they could have worked, but it just did not work this season around. Huey was known for his level-headedness and the voice of reason, with not everybody being able to understand him, really. And the whole show kind of got lost in season 4. I can't explain Huey, really. He just feels off. Also, Granddad. Granddad gets into debt because he refinanced his house and gets tricked by Ed Onceler, which seems a bit off for Granddad's character. Sure, he did act a bit dumb and naive in the previous seasons, but there was always some sort of wisdom to him, like he wasn't completely dumb.
But there's nothing you can do.
You do what you can.
And the thing is, that sucks about it, it's way more noticeable since the whole season is pretty much focused on Granddad. 8 out of 10 episodes are focused on Granddad, one being focused on Riley and the other one focused on Tom. Riley isn't really affected by the character change, he's kind of still a Riley, but you couldn't really mess up Riley to begin with. But oh boy, what they did with Ruckus was worse. They made Ruckus rich, which doesn't seem that bad on paper. Like, the whole joke of Ruckus is that he was a nobody, who was a racist, but nobody treated him with any respect. Now he's rich. The whole joke of Ruckus is pretty much gone, now he's just being racist. Also, season 4 has issues with a lot of characters being one-off characters, who appear in one episode then dip. The only person this doesn't really affect is Stink Meter, who appeared in previous seasons, and the Oncelers, and Uncle Ruckus. The show just feels like a shell of itself. This season was doomed from the start, because the original creator left the show. With that being said, I still like the other seasons, they were amazing. And Boondocks is one of my favorite shows of all time besides Breaking Bad. So it's a shame it went out with this, instead of the bang it deserved. There was supposed to be a reboot, but it got scrapped due to issues at HBO Max, basically conflicts with scheduling and stuff like that. They were apparently going to AI Granddad's voice because John Witherspoon, RIP, died. Which is probably a good thing that this didn't happen. At least we still have 3 good seasons of Peak.